if anything happens.
Something good just happened.
We know who to blame it on.
Well, I know it's not that word there, but it's kind of sad when we talk about it.
I got a video of it. Josh always takes the blame because he's ultimately responsible for it, so. His lack of training for us is an escape for him.
Watching the clock.
6:29, do it. Started with this one.
No, I can't.
It's like the longest 6:29 hours.
I could, you're right.
Back to 6:28 now.
Yeah.
No. I said YouTube's working. The official time.
Meeting, if you could please call our meeting to order. Are we executive sessions?
Yes.
If we could please have a motion to move to executive session for the purposes of discussing the employment history of particular persons.
Second.
All those in favor? I don't have a
See, I'm on my game too.
Good.
Well, that should be okay.
How are you?
Well, here.
Well, I mean, I was in Nashville, so like,
Wow.
it was pretty warm there too.
Survived the weekend?
Yeah.
And then it's on it today.
Yeah, I know. Daddy's playing.
How are you?
Kelly, how are you?
Good. I can't remember your name. You're the reporter, right?
Chelsea.
Kelly.
Nice to meet you. Again.
Yes, exactly. I know, right? Hopefully they won't be too long. Have you been to a board meeting yet, Eddie? or
No.
This is your first?
Yeah.
So this is, they'll go into executive session, they shouldn't be in there long, and then they come out and we just start the rest of the meeting. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Do you know Eddie, the other new board member?
No.
This
So
is
happy
Amy.
to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
So you two will be joining us.
All right. Yeah, how about that work?
So they just went to executive session.
See, the administration is nice and here and strong.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever come to this meeting because of the timing of it and the year and like.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy time of year.
Yeah.
Well, and people say to me, are you enjoying it now? They're slowing down. I'm like, no, this is my peak. I have 2 weeks of horrible and they're like right now. The end of the school year and the beginning are my bad. But we're getting through it.
Yeah, I'm struggling with like, so my oldest is going on that grand classroom trip, you know, the environmental team is going to Grand Canyon, Mount Zion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bryce Canyon, like super awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
great trip.
With your friends, right? I mean, so cool. And I was like, so you know you don't just get that, like, so he has to paint the trim, the interior trim in the house, right? You know, that's a project.
Oh, yeah.
Just prep is a project.
Totally, I agree.
And today I'm like, Tony, come on. Like, I want, he needs to get moving, like, we need to have some momentum, and I have to go to work. And if I'm gonna
Totally.
help him do any of it, like, we need to get, and then I'm like, oh, but it's like, it's summer break, he's had a whole week, like, is that enough, and just sleep it? You
Right.
know, and I finally was like, Oliver, I want you painting by 10:30, like, I think that's fair, get up and have breakfast, and you can.
That's definitely
You can
fair.
paint for a little bit, take a lunch break, paint this afternoon, like, you're gonna get tired, you know? And then I felt like awful when I got out a 3-inch brush and like a 1/2-inch brush. I'm like, I think the true brush is at my office.
Oh,
So I
no.
felt super bad because I'm like, you're starting this project today, like, there's no more dilly-dallying.
Oh,
You know, you need to
no.
get working on this because we're not dragging, I don't want my house being painted all summer, like,
No.
not driving it out like that, it's brutal enough to be
I
doing this.
agree.
But it was really hard, she's so,
We're done?
that was fast.
I like it.
What?
I like it. That was about 3 minutes. I like it.
I figured you would.
Actually, about 2 minutes.
What's that? I know, I know.
Trained us.
I saw that.
That's outstanding.
That's on. Listen to it.
What happened to our president, and vice president?
I don't know. I didn't even know this.
Extended conference.
Julie could have let us in the cheer.
That's right.
Good evening, if you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could please have a motion to approve our minutes from our regular meeting, 6/14.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments regarding the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I have no commentary for the good of the order. Comments from you, Superintendent?
Yes, I've got a few, bear with me. The first, I wanted to publicly again thank both Keith Fagerheim and Shanice Riley for their efforts on the school board over their terms of service. We appreciate all of the work that they've done and thank them for your service, so thank you very much. Along with that, I wanted to let you know that we had invited, as we had discussed, our 2 new board members here tonight to serve as observers, Eddie Maslin and Amy Kita. And what I wanted to let you know is that after we polled the board about interested people to serve as mentors for these fine people, Julie has agreed to be a mentor. Aaron and I will talk more about that. Essentially what we want to be able to do is at our reorg meeting, we'll let them know who their mentor is going to be, outline the mentor program and some of the supports that we've built in with all of your comments for how do we better acclimate people to the board. So at the July 6th meeting, we'll talk about that. So welcome to Eddie and Amy. I wanted to talk also about a meeting we had earlier today. It was similar to a root canal. We had our OACM meeting, our architects, our construction managers, and Mike and Jeff and I sat with those groups and talked about some of the capital project designs, and most importantly is the pricing of those designs. If you remember back in December, we passed a $24 million project and we were going to utilize $2 million of federal money, totaling $26 million, and we did some design work around that number. That price tag now for that work came back about $38 million. So our meeting today was where we started to look at some of those items that were prioritized and are going to be in our base bid, and then try to identify some of those things that are going to be over and above alternates, if you will. This is our first discussion. There's still a lot of wiggle room in that we had quite a bit of roof work to be done in this project, and we've asked them to go back and sharpen the pencil in terms of looking at those areas of our roof structures that really need to be done versus would be nice to be done. So we'll try to wiggle more room. Again, this is a preliminary discussion, but our thinking really was we wanted, and we've talked about concentrating most of our efforts at the intermediate junior high since we started this project, and it's kind of what we went into today's discussion with trying to prioritize. We don't want to give away those big things that we promised our community. We're going to have to give some things away, and I'll do my best, and we'll do our best to keep you updated on what some of those things are as that process continues. It was a productive meeting in that we were able to make some at least preliminary decisions, but it's a troubling one, but again, not unforeseen. If you have tried to buy any kind of products for your home lately, you've seen the astronomical cost, and with us doing a lot of roofs and a lot of asphalt driveways and parking lots, that's a big ticket item right now, so.
Is that what they identified, just the gap being just the rise in cost?
Oh, absolutely,
I mean,
yeah.
Did they actually more or less point to that?
Yeah, that's, I mean, the escalation in costs has gone
Yeah.
crazy, and we're hoping, I'm hoping, I don't know if just me being the eternal optimist, I'm hoping that we're nearing the peak, if not, we're gonna, head back down again, but, we had to have that conversation today, but we'll still get a lot of great work done. We'll just have to be thoughtful about what that work is. Okay. Questions about that? The other thing that I would add about that is on August 9th, we're going to have those folks come in, and they'll have done a little more work in terms of identifying what parking lots need to be done to what degree, and what roof systems need to be done to what degree. So we'll have a sharper, feel for what the work is that we can accomplish, and they'll give us updates to all of that. Okay? And then the last thing, I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about graduation on Saturday. We had a lot of outstanding, culminating activities here at school in the various buildings, and I know a lot of you were able to get to a lot of those. When all you can complain about is the heat, I think we did pretty well on Saturday. And we were blessed with the vantage point of being able to walk out and see everything as we walk out onto the turf field. That's a powerful, powerful thing. I get choked up every year, but certainly just thinking about it, I get choked up. It really is a special thing that we've been able to do for our kids and for their families, and again, and all of the planning that goes on at your level helps us to get there, so I thank you for that. But I enjoyed the heck out of it. I don't know if anybody else wanted to add anything, but I thought it went pretty darn good.
It's gonna be great,
My 2 cents would be kudos to the speakers. They were all phenomenal, and I think it really spoke to, it's neat to see the kids' reaction and response to hearing their peer group and their faculty speak. I thought the messaging was exceptional.
Yeah, and the last thing I would add, I really wanted to opt out of mine after hearing Lucia and Hannah and, and Raymond. The kids said everything that I could have said and said better, so, yeah, a lot to be proud of, as I mentioned before.
And the thing about the student commentary was they spoke to the whole audience, right? So not just their niche group, but the whole, they really understood who their peer group was, who they went to school with. And, I think as we look at what we're doing around character education, that they have that understanding and awareness and appreciation for their diversity. I thought that really spoke to me, that they really reached out to every group and every activity. That was phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that brings us to our end of the year financial resolutions. I got a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Questions or comments? Anything you need to share, Michael?
No, it's just looking again as we move to the end of the year, forecasting our fund balance, so that amount over the 4%. So we take 4%, as I spelled out in the memo, of next year's budget, and it operates as an additional, if you will, savings account to use for the district. We have appropriated $680,000 to use in the budget, almost in an emergency type of way. So right now, we're just going through end of the year, trying to look at some of the pieces. One of the things that I put differently in the financial statement this year was the flexibility in use of reserves. So I put the statement in using up to a certain amount. My idea with that was that if we didn't need to use money out of reserves, in the past we've taken the entire amount, or we've forecasted to do that. With the federal money, if we don't have to do that, then we won't have a flow through, and that's my anticipation, and moving money into other reserves. So you're not taking from one reserve and essentially flowing it through this process into another reserve. So that's something we've looked at a little bit different this year as well. So, any questions?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? If I could have a motion to approve the bus lease bid resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
So the interest rates are climbing up a little bit here and there. As always, we keep an eye on when leasing ceases to be the best value in future years.
You know, and again, weighing that, Luke, I would agree, weighing that with interest rates going up on purchase, and then that end piece too of not having to put money back into it as far as bus parts and things of that nature. So, also, I think we've talked a little bit about it, maybe not all that much, but the focus of the state eventually is to move to electric buses. So, in a phase-in program with that, looking at that, you know, it does put us in a position too of how we've done it, whether we want to go out and purchase the following year or stay with leases. We do have that flexibility by doing it, you know, 7, 8 buses every year. So that's all I'll go down that road as far as electric buses at this point.
So you're saying we need a power plant in the next capital project sometime?
Someone will tell you that, yes.
Thank you.
Are there additional questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? May I have a motion to approve the fuel pump repair bid resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to approve the school physician service bid resolution?
So moved.
Questions or comments?
We've been happy with their service in the past.
Yes.
I like their rollout of some anticipation of what it could look like down the road as well, but.
Yes, yes.
Year 2, 3, 4, yeah.
In years past, we had, it went 3 years and then a 4th year add-on, but I figured just given the financial climate at this point, it was good to have them broken down year by year.
Additional questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I could have a motion to accept the 21-22 internal audit risk assessment and corrective action.
So moved. Second. Take a bit.
Questions or comments?
This was reviewed by the audit committee previously. Didn't see any major issues.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to accept the reports from the Committee on Preschool Special Education?
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to accept the reports from the Committee on Special Education?
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to approve the 22-23 board meeting schedule?
Second.
Questions or comments?
Still good for the 12th for the retreat?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to approve the field trip request from the Environmental Club?
Second.
Questions or comments?
I'm just curious what that's going to look like.
What do you do?
I know that property, and I'm like,
It's pretty,
what are you
pretty
doing?
big, we did that trail system up there.
Yeah, they're talking 10 to
Most of it's
15
their
kids.
trail.
I don't know the property, but 10 to 15 students. a couple of them. But I'll ask them to take pictures.
Have fun.
Additional questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to approve the disposal of items from the high school?
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? A motion to approve the disposal of items at the junior high?
So moved.
Questions or comments?
Just finally getting rid of those sewing machines.
Some of them anyway, yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? Motion to approve the donation?
So moved.
Donations?
Second.
Questions or comments? Very nice.
Thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Are there any community voices wishing to be heard this evening? Do I have a motion to approve personnel? Questions or comments regarding personnel? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Fundraising updates, does that require an approval?
No, just informational items.
Are there any policies?
No.
Y'all met, and board committee policies?
There's audit, budget, and finance were the two committees, board committee reports. Luke just mentioned that was the focus of the audit committee.
Audit committee met earlier tonight to discuss the internal audit, which was item 3.5 earlier. Budget committee met a week ago and discussed items 3.1 to 3.4 that we approved earlier tonight. So, all good for most.
Board member activities.
Was excited to attend graduation. I also wanted to note, HTA did a fantastic job of getting water out to folks. They were hustling the whole day, and I know at least I had a large group of family there. They noticed and appreciated, and one of them is two of them are teachers in other districts up near Rochester. They said their union would not have done that. So just got to lift up our HTA in the way that they serve our community through that day.
But they went back and restocked at some point. and
Three
came
different
back
times.
out, yeah.
3 different times they went out to get more water.
Yeah, and Greenfield made some runs.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so they went above and beyond for the day.
Sure. Not, all my stuff's outside of school.
I guess I'll mention, I think, I'm not the only board member who was there, but the senior banquet was also really lovely. It was nice to be able to be back in person and see everybody, you know, meeting together for that. I remember doing that when I was here, so I mean, it's, you know, been around since the Stone Age, and it was really nice to see that continue, and we really enjoyed it.
Was that the first year that they did that by Olympus, or were you able to do that last year?
Well, we didn't do that last year.
No, just an awards thing.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, because we couldn't bring everybody into the gymnasium in one spot.
Good turnout.
It was a great turnout. Yeah.
I don't have an activity, but can I ask a follow-up question to our student engagement committee update last meeting? Has anything been found out about the possibility of us appointing or having student representatives on the board who would not, of course, be able to vote because they're not elected and they're not over the age, but would be present and be able to give feedback on issues that would be relative to them?
Yeah, I personally haven't done anything with it since that was brought up, but it is certainly something that we'll look into for sure.
And I checked around a little bit with my BOCES colleagues. It is possible. There's a
Oh,
handful,
it's definitely
there's a
possible.
handful of districts that do it. Like you said, they're ex officio members used for input and bounce ideas off, as well as to engage with the student body. So I don't know the legal
It really
proceedings
is,
to get there, but
yeah,
it is possible.
there's not a lot, it's not a difficult thing to do. It's just a matter of doing it. That's really all there is.
Keith, can you then do a motion that we would like that information brought back before us for the first meeting, by the first meeting of September, and what those parameters might look like so that the board can take action on it?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Love it.
Upcoming events.
We have our retreat on the 12th and 13th. Obviously, you folks will be there at the 12th at the Aurora Inn. We'll start at 8. I've got an email set to go out to all of you with the agenda that we'll get out to you. It's a good opportunity to reflect back on the year past, but then more importantly is to start planning for
the year that we're gonna be entering into starting Friday. So, look forward to all your involvement with that.
And we have, the reorg is,
July 6th, next Wednesday. Yep, 6 o'clock. They didn't hear.
At least time to shut.
nervous already. I don't like it. If I could please have a motion to
So
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh!
Is there a Shanice second? Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nice job.
Beat him to the punch.
I like
Be
it.
impressed.
Had to do it once.
There you go. I'm happy to let it go.
Owner would be impressed.
Perfect.
You too sure you wanna join this circus?
Too late now, Eddie, you're already in.
Oh, did you tell Kelly? She has to get this year's graduation to pick up all the roads?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Do whatever way that we can.
We voted.
Nice job.
You distribute that, you gotta pick it up.